So I have been flooded with LinkedIn messages in the last few weeks asking the same questions. How did he get 3 job offers after a layoff on H1B? How did he manage to get interviews? How did he get people to refer you for the jobs? How many jobs did he apply per day? What's the networking strategy that he used? What are the tools that he used? Did he even sleep? No, I was just kidding. So the average jobs I applied per day is just 3.23. Forget about 3. How did he even manage to get 1 job offer just applying to 3.23 jobs per day? So in this video, I have decoded my complete job search and networking strategies that I personally used the last few months to land these 3 job offers. So if you're someone who wants to 10x your job search process, please watch this video fully. Welcome back to another layoff video from me. So last week I made a video about how I got laid off and what was my initial state of mind and mindset during my initial few days. So if you have not checked that video, please check the link above. So before I go into the job application process which I followed, let's just take a quick look at some of the insights from my own job application process. And if you see the dashboard clearly, the total jobs I applied is just 236 jobs over the last 2 months. And I got total of 22 interviews. You can clearly see that the number of interviews I got with referrals is 13. More than 60% of the calls I got was due to referrals. So I mostly applied on weekdays from Monday to Thursday. And you can see that I hardly applied on weekends. The average jobs I applied is just 3.23 per day. That's quite low, right? So I've heard so many people telling that they applied like 500 jobs, 1000 jobs over a period of few months, but they say that they don't get any calls. So is that strategy really effective? So my approach from my initial few days was trying to have a smart application process. I emphasized quality over quantity. So here's a brief checklist that I followed. First thing, have a strong resume. Make the best keywords optimized resume that you can. We all know about ATS and getting past ATS is quite hard. Don't make up a lot of stuff. So exaggerating a little can help, but not too much. So this is where tools like ChatGPT can come in. In the next video, I'll talk more about how I use ChatGPT to optimize my resume. And next step, check for H1B sponsorship before you even apply for jobs. There is no point in applying for a job in a company which does not even sponsor for the role. So there are a few things you can do to know if the company sponsors for H1B. First thing, look at a job description. If it doesn't say anything about H1B, then there are websites like h1bgrader.com, h1bdata.info that can give valuable information about the H1B sponsorships. If you're not able to find even those websites, next thing what you can do is go to the company's LinkedIn page and look at people who are working there. If you find, like for example, if you are Indian and if you find a lot of Indians working there, then that's a good sign that that company sponsors H1B. There are a few exceptions, like for example, Capital One and PepsiCo. They do have a lot of contractors. I applied to PepsiCo and then I got to know that a lot of people who are working there are contractors. I think doing this can eliminate a lot of jobs. It will end up saving a lot of time. The $1 million question, how do you get past ATS before it goes into a human recruiter? A one-size-fits-all approach never works. So having one resume for all the jobs, it's never going to work. So I think each job application deserves its own resume. At least that's what I did in my case. And for doing this, I utilized ATS scanner tools like JobScan and SkillSyncer. JobScan is kind of more expensive at $90 for 3 months compared to SkillSyncer's $30 for 3 months. So I ended up using SkillSyncer, and before applying to any company, I'll just put in the job description and resume, find out the missing keywords and try to plug that into the resume. So I just try to ensure that at least 80% match is there before I apply for the jobs. We are not done yet. The next step is asking for referrals. There are a few things we can do. As I said, 60% of the calls that I got was due to referrals and networking. Few things we can do is first check in a close circle and contacts to see if there are people who are working in the company and can refer. If you don't have anyone like that, then obviously go to LinkedIn. Search for people who are working the specific role you're applying for. For example, I applied for a lot of data analyst positions. Search for people who are working as data analysts. It would be better if we can find managers and directors of that particular team. So I would send connection requests to them as well. I would try to ensure that at least I send 10 connection requests for a specific role in the company. Having a variety of people in the connection request is certainly good. There's no secret template or anything. I was straight to the point. I just said I'm interested in this role in the company. Could you please refer me for the role, or at least direct me to the hiring manager or recruiter for the role? And I usually waited for 1 to 2 days for referrals. If they don't respond back, I just apply with the ATS optimized resume that I already made. Some of the job descriptions do have hiring manager and recruiter information as well. So if I can get that information, then I go straight to hunter.io. I think it's $35 per month. Put in the person's name and find if I can get the email address. And if I find the email address, I do send a personalized email as well along with my resume. And I would see if the recruiter or the hiring manager can respond back. Once you have followed all these steps as part of the checklist, that's when you go ahead and click the submit button for a company. And the other thing is, along with LinkedIn, also upload your resumes on Dice and Monster, because recruiters from different consulting companies reached out from that, and one of that got converted into a job offer. And consultancies obviously is a good option. Please don't restrict yourself. Try all the different consultancies which you can think of. Just keep options open. So now you'll be asking, was this process really effective? Again, no. First, let's see what did not work. Skill Syncer or JobScan, having an ATS optimized resume, it did not kind of work for me because I got a lot of rejects even when I had a 90% match or 95% match. And hunter.io. Again, hunter.io did not kind of work because the issue was some of the email IDs that I get for certain people are not correct. That's one thing. And the other thing is, like, a lot of companies have company firewalls to restrict outside emails. I was basically not able to reach them even if I have an email address. So now you'll be asking, what actually worked? How did you manage to get a lot of interviews and finally 3 job offers? Referrals. But hold on, there's one thing here. All referrals are not the same. What actually matters is the quality of referrals. Are the people who are referring holding powerful positions in the company? Now be thinking, how do you get powerful people in the company refer you? After all, they don't have time to even check for LinkedIn. The answer is writing LinkedIn posts. When I started writing on LinkedIn like 3 months back, I never knew it was going to work. I read this book by Ali Abdel called Feel Good Productivity, and it just says, how do you make the process as enjoyable and as fun as possible? So I was just thinking, okay, why not post on LinkedIn? It's kind of fun. So I just did it like that, and I have written like 13 to 14 posts over the last 2 months. I think around my 4th or 5th post, people started reaching out to me saying that I would certainly be able to refer you for a role in my company. Please reach out to me. What was surprising was 2 company founders and CEOs reached out and few hiring managers in different companies reached out. That's when I realized that this was working. If I was just sending connection invites to like 1,000 other people who are sending, then I would just be one of the 1,000. I was not going to get a response. So what happened was, now people were themselves reaching out to me. The tables turned and now the opportunities were flowing my way. If I clearly see the 13 referrals which I got, out of that 7 of the referrals came just through this method, which is like 53%. And all these 7 referrals were powerful referrals because these were company CEOs, directors, managers, and that's what got me 2 job offers out of the 3. I think now it's a good place to tell you my offer story, how I got. So I wrote a post on LinkedIn titled Life Post Layoff on H1B. And seeing that, one of the directors in a company reached out saying that there are a couple of openings in another team in her company and she would be able to refer me. So I just sent my resume and I just thought I won't get a response, but luckily the hiring manager directly reached out to me on LinkedIn, set up a meeting, and I interviewed with him. It went well, and that's when he asked the recruiter to do a screening and asked me to apply formally for that role. Instead of the recruiter reaching out first and then the hiring manager, it kind of happened in reverse. And after that, the next round interviews happened and that got converted to job offers. That's how I got the job offer, which I have actually signed. Another job offer also happened through a similar method. So this is how basically I got my job offers. So I would say, along with hard work, I also had a lot of luck coming my way. If there is just one takeaway from this video, I would say start writing on LinkedIn. Can get you a lot of job interviews. At least that's what happened in my case. In next week's video, I'll walk you through how I use ChatGPT for my application process. So last week I made a video about like how I got laid off and what was my initial state of mind and mindset during my initial few days. So if you have not checked that video, please check the link above. See you again soon with another layoff video. Until then, bye from Sandeep.